Vignette number 23 in Zen Is Right Here, Teaching Stories and Anecdotes of Shunryu Suzuki. A student asked, "Does a Zen master suffer in a different way than his students suffer?" Suzuki answered, "In the same way. If not, I don't think he is good enough." That was Reb Anderson, Harold Reb Anderson at Sokoji in 1969. Reb Anderson came to Zen Center in 1968. His school days friend, very close friend, Robert Halpern, was like my best friend in Zen Center back then. Bob and I were a terror wherever we were. One day I was living at Tassara, but I was in the city, and Bob was there. I think he was doing ironwork, really strong guy. And boy, that guy was fearless at heights. He'd walk out on I-beams, way up in the sky. Oh, God, I don't even like to think of it. Anyway, so I went to his room, and he said, I want to introduce you to someone. And there was this fellow in his room, sitting full lotus, with a little smile on his face, looking intensely in my eyes. Bob said, "Hey, David, this is Reb. He's my oldest friend from Minneapolis." So that was meeting Reb. He drove out there in a hearse. And Reb was, immediately became what I called an older student than I was. And he really took it seriously. He stuck to Suzuki Roshi when he could. He'd sit right close to him in lectures. He sat every zazen. He did everything as well as he could. And he was a good reader. He'd read a lot. And he'd studied already a good deal, and he just kept studying, Buddhism. And he studied a lot of psychology and philosophy and science and who knows what else. I remember one practice period at Tassajara, I swear he read about 60 books or something. Maybe I've got that wrong, but he was telling me he wanted to get through all these different books. And then he sort of got that behind him. And he got ordained in 1970. I got ordained in 71. So I remember, Suzuki wanted to ordain Bob and me together. So I went and saw him one day, and I said, we were talking about, I don't know what we're talking, but I did say, what about the ordination? And he said, I said, what's happening with that? He said, well, Bob's being a little, and he went up in his hand, up and down, up and down. Yeah, and Bob was a total wild man. And Bob specialized in just outrageous behavior. Boy, I could tell you a lot about him. I wrote about him a little in Crooked Cucumber, but This Tassar stories I'm working on has a tremendous amount about him. In fact, I can't use it all. And I've got stuff about him in the city. Maybe we can get him on here for an interview. Anyway, so he said, so I didn't want to ordain you without Bob because I knew he'd be jealous. I said, no, he wouldn't. I said, it's too late, Roshi. He said, too late? I said, yeah. You ordained Reb, his oldest childhood friend. That's what he'd be jealous of, not me. And he went, oh, oh, I'm sorry. Mea culpa. Anyway, Reb, he worked for Bank of America for a while. And, he was very diligent and concentrated. And he was at Tassajara a great deal. And, Suzuki Roshi ordained him, and he was head monk under Richard Baker. And he got transmission from Richard Baker. He was abbot of the Zen Center for about 8 years. He's got a title like Senior Dharma Teacher at Green Gulch Farm, and he's got quite a following. People really bond with Reb. He has a lot of really dedicated students, and he's written a few books. I can tell you what they are. Here we are. I just went to Q.com and wrote Reb Anderson books in the site search box. Went to his Q page, and there's books by Reb Anderson. Being Upright, Zen Meditation, and Bodhisattva Precepts, Rodmill Press, 2000. And Warm Smiles from Cold Mountains, a collection of talks on Zen meditation, Rodmill Press, 1999. So, thanks a lot for asking that question, Reb. And may your Dharma continue forever. This has been another Cuke Audio mini podcast. I'm your host, DC Poobah of Cuke Audio and Cuke Archives, with Doggett Bandita and Feline Cuchita here in sleepy Sanur, but without dear Katrinka, wishing you and yours and all of us a grand awakening.